Hi everyone. Welcome to Success at the Workplace Soft Skills Forum organized by 𝗦𝗂𝗰𝗲𝗀 International Business Society. I'm 𝗦cie𝗳𝗁 and I will be the MC for today on behalf of 𝗦𝗂𝗰𝗲 International Business Society. First of all, we appreciate you taking your time off your busy schedules to join us for the Soft Skills Forum. Before we proceed, allow me to introduce an exciting upcoming event that will be held in June called Fashion Farm. Fashion Farm is a sustainable fashion charity event hosted in 𝗦𝗏 University by 𝗦𝗏 International Business Society and in collaboration with 𝗦𝗏 student volunteers with the aim of advocating sustainable fashion in reducing consumption and promoting the awareness of climate change. So there will be a collection drive in the college foyer in May that will allow students to donate their pre-loved clothing, which will then be curated and sold on the event day. So those that are interested in thrifting, this event will definitely be your cup of tea. What's more interesting is that there will be hands-on workshops and competitions on the event day. And most importantly, a certain profit earned from this event will be donated to a charity. Fashion Farm will be a 2-day event held in early June in the Art Gallery Hall of 𝗦𝗏 University. So mark your calendars and we hope to see you on the event day. Feel free to scan the QR code shown on screen to follow Fashion Farm's social media platforms to be updated on the event. Now, on this occasion, we are very honored to welcome our MC for this forum, Mr. Jason Jonathan Omar. Mr. Jason is a managing director at Talent Shop Sabah and is well known for hosting freelance lifestyle and business events. Some other impressive facts about Mr. Jason is that he is the Chief Executive Officer at Borneo Impact and is also the General Secretary of SBEA. Besides, he is an HRDF certified corporate trainer and speaker. Now that you've heard about our MC, without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Jason. Mr. Jason, the floor is now yours.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you, 𝗦𝗫𝗁. If you guys can hear me, just put on some emojis in the chat box, please. I want this session to be fun. And, in my workplace, in my office, learning is supposed to be fun. So yeah, just spam those emojis in the chat box. All right. And talking about emojis, we can tell a lot about people at which emoji they actually use. But I'm sure our panelists, especially Ms. Mallory, later on can share a bit about how people can actually, how people choose these emojis can actually represent who they actually are. Now, having this background and all that, talking about my business, Talent Shop Sabah, there's a bit of difference when it comes to talents in my industry. Now, my industry is in commercial, advertisement, marketing, and events. So in my lines of business, talent is not really considered to be, graphic designers, administrative executives, or anyone in the workplace. So talents in our industry is more of people who are really talented artistically. For example, singers, MCs, DJs, models. So more of in the entertainment field compared to being in the corporate talent sort of spectrum. So just to make it clear, in case, because we get a lot of confused people contacting us, asking whether we have talents for their company, but what they mean is actually corporate talents. So we don't do that. We're more in the entertainment and marketing fields. So talking about even my HRDF being a certified trainer as well, I'm sure our panelists are even more qualified to share more about our topic here today, which is Soft Skills Forum. And ladies and gentlemen, allow me to kindly give you guys a brief about our speakers for today. I'm sure you have done a bit of a background check on them, but in case, I know some of you students are busy, with your exams, with your families, with your assignments and your gaming time. Don't lie. I know you guys play games, and that's cool. All right, you guys need that session. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, our first panelist has an extensive diversity of experiences throughout his life from being in the German Armed Forces to becoming the person he is today as the Vice President of Marketing and E-Business at 𝗦𝘂𝗰𝗲𝗀 Operations GmbH. Now, GmbH, in case you're wondering what GmbH stands for, you can look it up on Google. GmbH, what does it mean in Germany? So it's something like 𝗦𝘂𝗰𝗏𝗏𝗀. Okay, so you can look it up. So 𝗦𝘂𝗰𝗃 Operations GmbH, that is the company he's currently working as the VP of Marketing and E-Business. And although he is working in Germany, he has his fair share of experience working in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And he mentioned just now, for those of you who did not hear it, he was in, before we started this session, he was in KL, he was in Malaysia just last week, if I'm not mistaken. And he has worked in other countries as well. On top of that, he is also the founder and managing director for a company of his own, Human Factors Training Company in Germany. You can Google that up as well. It's a very interesting training company, which I think that all of you can actually learn something from that website as well, and from our panelists later on. Now, this company focuses on international training and coaching, especially in soft skills. I do believe that our organizer has invited a suitable person to join us here today in relations to our soft skills forum topic. Starting off with the first panel discussion titled Vital Soft Skills Required at the Workplace. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our first panelist. I know you guys can't clap, otherwise it would be awkward just looking at the laptop and just clap. So you guys can just respond by chatting something in the chat box or sending some emojis. Let's welcome our first panelist, Mr. Lars Bechler. Now, Lars, hello, Lars. I hope that I pronounce your name correctly. I've never tried German language before. All I know is Guten Tag. And just to make sure your microphone is on, can you please clarify, is that the correct pronunciation of your name, Lars Bechler?
Yeah, you're almost, let's say you're very close, yeah, because it's a Swedish name, so we pronounce it, yeah, like in Bahasa also, Lars, but you're very close, yeah.
Interesting. All right, so to make it easy, I'll just call you Mr. Lars then.
Perfect.
Great. All right.
Pleasure to be here.
It's great to have you. Thank you so much. And thanks to all the students who are with us as well, and also the organizing committee. Ladies and gentlemen, on to our second panelist with us here tonight. It's nighttime here in Malaysia. We have a very successful woman who has received notable awards and have shared invaluable insights, not just on stage as a speaker and awarded coach, but also as a mentor for youths and startups throughout various programs. She's the co-founder of Work Inspires, and a people engagement and development company who has worked with many Fortune 500 companies, both locally and abroad. Having such an extensive knowledge and experience in the people development scene, she has earned the recognition of Malaysia's Most Talented Coach in 2019 and Top 100 Global Training and Development Coach of the Year in 2017 by the World Human Resources Development Congress. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Ms. Mallory Loone. Come on, everyone, just type something in the chat box, give a round of applause. There you go, use those emojis. And it would be great if you can just smile to the camera. It shows that you're excited, and I hope that I have delivered that excitement to you. We're gonna learn something here from these two amazing individuals, and I hope that this learning session will be fun. I hope I want to make it, as casual as possible so that you don't get bored with all the information. Instead, the information that you'll be getting, the knowledge that you'll be getting here tonight will be something that's not just eye-opening, but it's fun to learn. So just out of curiosity, I just want to make sure that Mallory's microphone is on as well. Mallory, can you just say hi to everyone?
Hi everyone, nice to meet you, especially this evening.
There we go. Thank you very much. All right, now to start off, just to ice break everything, I just want to know, Lars, what what made you dive into the soft skills scene? What made you become passionate about soft skills before we dive into the questions?
Well, it happened in a way, as usual, these things happen accidentally. That means my superior, about 5-6 years, he came to me and he said, well, I was at that time already a pricing specialist, and I was very well versed in pricing psychology. And he said, hey, you're doing all this soft stuff, these psychology things. Can you give us a kind of a soft skill concept for our sales force? Is that possible? And I said, well, I'm not sure if I can buy such a concept in the market, but let me see. And that's how I started to look into this soft skills aspect.
All right, interesting. Now, ladies and gentlemen, again, our topic here tonight is about soft skills, and later on we'll see what we can dive in deeper about this topic, and hopefully everyone will have a wonderful time and get invaluable information here tonight. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to start off with our panel discussion here tonight, my first question, and this will be directly for Lars, as this is directly involved in soft skills. But in case Mallory, you would like to share your thoughts on this question or add on to whatever Lars is giving his comments on, feel free to do so. It's a casual session. We want everyone to learn. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, first question, what are soft skills and what defines it?
Yeah, that was the first question I asked myself also when the people came to me. You know, that is where the problem starts in a way, or the interesting part, because there is no clear or complete or one definition about soft skills. There are several definitions around for soft skills, and it depends a little bit from what angle you look at this point. Yeah, so many people, they differentiate soft skills, hard skills already, so they do a definition via this part. But what you see here now in front, yes, exactly. That's what I liked most, because this is, I'm also in Wikipedia. Yes, I take the internet and ask for advice for these things. So I asked already at that time, listen, internet, what are soft skills? And I found many definitions. But you see, the basic definitions are here. And that is what is most important. So we're talking about interpersonal skills. Sometimes the people say social skills, yeah, social skills, interpersonal skills are, yeah. Communication skills, absolutely important. But what I find, or what impressed me in a certain way, is also we're talking about character traits here and attitudes. So it is much more than that what you're saying. It is also that how you are in a way. But then it comes to what you see here, to Collins English Dictionary, and there is a long, in a way, definition, but you are students and you're learning a lot of academic stuff, so you might like that. But you see, if you're teaching Salesforce, for example, they want to have a very crisp definition. And I like the one, what I highlighted here, soft skills, and that stands for me personally also, this is the ability to deal with people. That's it. If you take that in your mind, yeah, in the first place, that these are soft skills in the first place. Personally, and by my experience, that is really a very hands-on, a very good definition.
All right, great. Thank you so much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you do have questions along the way, as mentioned by the MC earlier on, there is a Slido, so feel free to cast your questions there. We will have the Q&A session towards the end of this panel discussion. Now, Lars, I'm just wondering, you know, of course, in our career, when we choose a certain career, a certain journey, a certain path, we would normally go for something that we are an expert in and something that we enjoy, that we are passionate in doing. But just wondering, why do you focus on coaching soft skills specifically? Like, is there a personal goal that you're trying to achieve throughout this?
Yeah, well, that was a very good question. Thank you for this question. Because the reason is always why I should deal with soft skills. And yes, please show the slide. It gives the answer straight. And that makes me also passionate dealing with soft skills, because I figured out that at the end, yeah, the difference at the end, for example, if you are a salesperson And of course, you have competitors, and one competitor is probably with that kind of a product as good as you. Then the soft skills make at the end the difference. That is the part which makes you successful. And they were even just show me this slide what you had before, the one with the pyramid. But possible, because that shows this.
Yeah, can we get back to the slide where there's a pyramid in the diagram? I think with the 85%.
Yes, this one. That answers your question perfectly, because it is not that only that I feel that it makes the difference, and by my experience, I really can tell you that that is absolutely true. That is not just a saying only about soft skills, selling soft skills and whatsoever, that you should be good in a lot of things. But again, soft skills make at the end a difference. And there were universities, you know Harvard University very well. They're working with Sunway University, Carnegie Foundation, Stanford Research. They looked into this matter and they did a lot of research. And of course, it is debatable if it is now exactly 85% what makes the success. And on the other hand side, for the hard skills, then the 50%. But I can tell you that the majority of success is going at the end of the count of soft skills. And that is really the interesting part. That is, by my experience, again, by that what I have seen all over the world. This is not only, let's say, Germany or Malaysia. This counts all over the world. The soft skills make it at the end, and that is the important factor for a big difference. That's why I'm passionate in soft skills, because that is really, it is target oriented. But it is not only, and really let me underline this, it is not only business oriented. It is for everything, for your whole going around with people, and even soft skills. You would be surprised. This is not only people skills. I showed the definition. I had some colleagues. They gave me certain ideas and certain feedback that they had even certain soft skills with their pets, with their dogs, with their cats, and I was surprised about that. But yes, of course, even for pets, there are certain soft skills. So you try this with your dog and you will see probably your dog smiling at you.
Wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure if you watch Karate Kid, but Lars is like the Mr. Miyagi and Kung Fu is like soft skills. So soft skills is practicable in every parts of our lives. So that's what he's trying to say. It's not just for your personal development, not just for work, but it's applicable anytime, anywhere, and by anyone. Thank you so much, Lars. All right, I just want to jump in with Mallory here real quick, and I've asked about regarding passion, so we can see that Lars is very, very passionate about soft skills. And I just want to ask Mallory, what made you passionate about coaching talent development? And also, please do share, what is talent development?
Okay. So when we talk about talent development, okay, back to the point where Jason mentioned, right? So in his industry, talent here talks about, the singers, the celebrities, the, more entertainment side. Okay, and I'm addressing the corporate talent, okay? So meaning anyone here, we call young talents, meaning anyone here with certain skills that a corporate needs. So when I talk about people, okay, let's just talk about people. It's always fun. I mean, it gives you a lot of headache, but it's also a lot of fun. Reason being because people are never the same. And I think that's what got me into this industry in the first place. And I've been here for 10 years and people still fascinate me. And I think the now generation, the younger they are, the more fascinated I am, because every day now they are teaching me new lingos, new ways of hashtag that I never knew existed. Like that day, somebody asked me, what's the tea? And I innocently look at her and I go, black tea, white tea, green tea, what tea? And apparently it means what's the news, what's the gossip, what's the thing. And I'm like, oh, why can't you just say that? Why do you have to say what's the tea? So I'm really not sure if that contributes to soft skills, but it's a new lingo. Okay, FYI. So when talking about what made me passionate about it, because like what Lars mentioned, right? Talent, people are never the same, and a lot of times because of our past experiences, our background, it molded us to become who we are today. But who we are today doesn't mean is who we can possibly be at the best. So hence why coaching comes into play. I give an example, right? I grew up in a Chinese school background, so I'm not sure. I'm sorry, am I lagging a little bit? I think I'm good. Okay,
You're
so
good. You're good.
yeah, I don't know why I can see myself lagging, but okay. So if you can hear me, it's still fine. So in a Chinese school environment, you will have people asking you things like, why did you score 98 and not 100? What happened to the other 2 points? Yeah. And that being second place is not good enough. So that actually affected me into always thinking, doubting my self-confidence, and into asking myself, am I good enough? Am I good enough? Am I good enough? And without the right coach, I wouldn't be able to get out of it. And I wouldn't be who I am today. So in summary, that's what talent development is about. All of us have this certain gem, but because of a lot of things that happen in our lives, upbringing, incidents, experiences, your bad breakups or whatever it is, you become clouded. So a coach comes in to clean up the dust and go, okay, here you are, you're a shining diamond again. Now go fly. So that's what talent development is, and that's what coaching is about. And what made me passionate, like I said, is because everyone's different, and it's always fascinating.
Great, thanks for sharing, Mallory. Now, just out of curiosity, this is out of the sets of questions that I've provided. You are passionate in developing talents, but have there ever been a moment or a time throughout your career where you meet a certain talent and you just gave up because he or she doesn't want to? You are trying to help them, but they're not there to help themselves, if you know what I mean.
Yes, there is. Okay, to make this session fun, right? Can everyone here kind of type down, what do you think is that one word? Just one word, okay? One word that would stop anybody from succeeding. Just one word. Okay, type down in the chat. Just take a guess. I want to hear. Anyways, your thoughts anyway. I just want to see what is that one word. Just type down one word. So that would stop. It's a word that you say, yeah? It's a word that you say that would stop anybody from succeeding. Okay, Dixon, thank you with the attitude. TikTok. Good job. Hey, TikTok makes a lot of money, okay? Procrastinate, okay? What else? I want to think of the word. Word, okay? Laziness, come on. Laziness. Keep coming. What else? Love. Good point. I've seen people lose out of things because of love. Okay, procrastinate, doubt. Keep coming. I want to see what else they say. So there are about 80 of you here. So there should be about at least 50% answer. Okay, the word no, insecurity. All right, money. Mood. Okay. Interesting views we have here. Wrong. Okay. Hatred. We're going emotional. All right. So the word that actually irritates most coaches is the word but. B-U-T. But. So I met this kid. I'm saying bright kid, 4.0 CGPA kind of kid. All right. Like all of you here, young, talented. But every time you coach him and you suggested something to him, he will say this, I've tried that, but. Or he will say, okay, but. Every single thing ends with a but. So one time, I actually put a jar and said, every time you say but, you're going to put a dollar or ringgit inside the jar. At the end of the day, in 1 hour of coaching, I collected 16 ringgit. That's the amount, but he said. At the end of the day, to be very honest, I told him, I don't think you're ready for a coach. Because a coach is somebody that when you are ready to learn, give you options to think about that allows you to learn and grow. However, if you keep using excuses, but you basically put this shield up and say, every time somebody says, here's a helping hand, no thank you. Here's a helping hand, no thank you. And then you sit down there and cry and go, why nobody helped me? Nobody tried. You're just not doing it. So hence the but. So that kid gave me a big question mark. I go, is this the future generation? I'm glad to be proven wrong. I met many other good talents after that. But that kid really made me question things that I do in life.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing, Mallory. Very interesting. All right. Okay. Moving on now, this question can be directed to both of you, but just want to start it off with Lars first. Soft skills versus hard skills, which should one prioritize on? Now, you did mention that 85%, most of the time, soft skills are more important. But is it something that students, or fresh graduates, or anyone for that matter should prioritize on just soft skills, or should they go for hard skills as well?
Well, it sounds that you have to choose A or B. So I would say better choose C and take both of them in a way. But coming from the university, well, I studied also, and the hard skills you learn anyway, they are educated. If you show the next slide, that will explain that a little bit. So I would not choose hard or soft skills, because your soft skills, they're coming by your life experience, your education. Yeah, so they're coming with your life. And the other one, the hard skills stuff, is the hard stuff. Yeah? That's why they are hard skills. If you show me the next slide, you will see that a little bit, because I try to differentiate that for you guys. So if you really have to choose, yeah, if I personally say, hey, but no, it is either hard skills or soft skills, to be very frank, then I would choose soft skills. Yeah, because I personally believe the hard skills is your, how to explain, your entrance ticket. That is what most of the people have. That is what you get normally. That is what is your, and that what you can see nicely here in your left brain, so to say. That's the work of your left brain. But are you going around with a half brain only? No, I don't think so. Maybe some people probably during driving or whatsoever, or when they see food. Yeah, maybe then one brain or half brain only. But of course, you have two parts of the brain. Yeah, but some people, they are more, as we say, and they are quite interesting tests, by the way. They are more left brainers, and some they are more right brainers. And that is already the first differentiation. Because the hard skills, that is what we normally dedicate to the IQ. If people measure your intelligence, they measure this part, they measure your hard skill. Because measuring the emotional intelligence, this is what we call it EQ. And that is in my eyes the more interesting part these days. That is very, very difficult to measure. Yeah, and you can see that. So your hard skills, they are more specific work. Yeah, you do your calculation, you do your math, is all left brain work, is all hard skills. Your everyday life, yeah, going around with people, finding the right tone, talking to people, see different difficulties and express that properly. That is all soft skills. That is all right brain work. So, and that's what we see here. So, and then coming again from the university side, your knowledge based in the first place. That's fine, and it has to be like that. But your right brain side, your soft skills, they are behavior based. You experience that. Yeah. So sometimes, of course, you learn it also the hard way. So to differentiate either better hard skills or better soft skills, better both. Let me tell you. But if you really have to choose, I personally would choose better soft skills, because I think you can come better along in your life when your soft skills are on a higher level than probably your hard skills. Have both, and they are perfect forms.
All right, Lars, would you say that hard skills are easier to learn compared to soft skills, or it really depends on every single individual separately?
Yes, it is the last part.
I see. All right, great. Thank you for sharing.
Can I jump in for this?
Yes, sure. Go ahead,
Right,
Mary.
fine. For me, I'm going to be a bit of a devil's advocate here, and I'm going to say depends on the industry. I'll take, for example, right? I was working with this IT organization, IT-based organization. So they are 90% programmers. So in Malaysia and Singapore, they are the service center. So they do troubleshooting, okay? And when I went in there, I had the hardest time trying to communicate with them because everyone is speaking in a different language. Let's put it that way, okay? Technological language. That even the basics of what we teach soft skills, they couldn't comprehend, and hence why I had to go. Okay, is this question, when this question came about, it really brought me back to that place. And they're big, successful people. They earn well. It's just that because of the industry, hard skills became a priority. Of course, when you're talking about versatility, adaptability, those with soft skills, if let's say I'm an engineer or programmer, and I can also talk well to my customers, I can also mingle around at events, I would go very far in my career. But if you are talking about if you are IT based and you just want to get a job, things like IT, things like accounting would definitely go on hard skills first. So I'm just being the devil's advocate here. I'm not saying it's not important. I'm just saying that you need that to enter, but to survive in the company, you need your soft skills.
Great, understood. So just like Lars mentioned, hard skills would be the entry for a lot of you guys, but soft skills are still important for you to actually focus on as well. All right, thank you so much to two of our panelists. Now moving on to the next question. Just wondering, Mallory, throughout your career, I'm not sure whether as a freelancer or under your company, do you help companies as a service? Do you help companies acquire talent acquisition and also onboarding process in a job application? Do you do that?
Yeah, we do assessment centers. So basically, assessment center is mass hiring. So we got the best 50 talents in one whole day events, and we go through a series of activities, and from there we shortlist the best 10, the best 20 to be interviewed in the final round.
I see. All right. Just wondering, what would be a question that you would normally ask to a candidate? That's a common question that you would normally ask.
For me, right? Today somebody asked me this question in campus. I said the most important question to me of all time is actually tell me about yourself. Because everyone walks in the room with a 50-50. So if I assume you know basic etiquette and you dress well and you look pleasant and you're smiling, okay? I assume you know the basics, and you walk in, and when I look at you and I say, oh, you look pleasant enough. So it's a 50-50. Trust me, I've interviewed a lot of people. I don't want to sit there all day just to fire everybody, okay? I would like to definitely hit my KPI in hiring some people. So I said 50-50. And then I asked you the question. So, hi, nice to meet you. Okay, so me, Jason. Hi, Jason, nice to meet you. Have a seat. Okay, tell me about yourself. And if Jason answers me in the most lack of confidence, soft, fearful, half bored way, I would go, okay, this scale of hire, don't hire, it would just go, not hiring. And then you're going to spend the next 50 minutes of the interview, assuming it's 1 hour, trying to convince me why I should change my mind to hire you. Versus somebody, let's say, being Jason here, he'll be very pleasant and he will come in, he's all smile and charming look, and he will say, hi, my name is Jason, give you a brief background about you in 10 seconds. I would definitely go, he's halfway there. I can tilt the scale just by that question from a 50-50 to a 70-30. And the whole time, I would just verify why Jason is the right candidate. So that's the most important question of an interview. Ironically, a lot of students can't answer that well either.
All right, thanks for sharing. Now, just to get all these students prepared, what are some of the common red flags that most companies look at or you would look at during the hiring process or during the interview?
Okay, so I'll look at it both ways. One is an interview and the other one will be assessment center. So assuming if you go for group style, okay? So in a normal interview, they will look for irregularity. So imagine you're doing a lie detector test and you have this thing going up and down. They will look for those ups and downs that would trigger red alerts, okay? So I'll give you an example. It's okay to be nervous and nervous throughout, rather than being nervous and then suddenly confident at 1 or 2 questions. Why? Because it shows that you're either lying in that 1 or 2 questions, or you are trying to put on a story that's not yours, Okay, because when you are being you are just nervous, and suddenly that 2 point come across your this whole entire person in tonality, in your physiology. They will look for those things. Okay, that's the first part. And in a group interview, they will look out for people who are, we call tin kosong. In Malaysia, it means empty tin, empty can. What does that mean is that, you know, when you have an empty can, you throw a marble inside there, you kind of shake it a lot and it makes a lot sound, but it has no substance. So it sounds like a lot of things, but it's nothing tangible. So there are a lot of people that likes to shout great things, but in the whole 5 minutes of them talking, you can't get a single substance out of it. So when I interview anybody, or when I do mock interviews or run assessment centers, we will always categorize candidates into 3 parts. One is a definite no. Then you have a very small hand group will be definite yes. And then we have those in the middle that says, let's see if they deserve a second chance. Yeah. And so if there are vacancies, these people would look out for that. And that's where majority of the students end up at, unfortunately. So I would, maybe if I could give one tip, just one tip to overcome it, right? Is number one, be you. I've seen students suddenly became Australian, Britain, American, or whatever country they came from in the interview. And then they'll be like, oh, were you raised in Australia or something? No. And I'm like, I can tell your slang isn't very genuine. But they have this slang. Okay. I'm not saying you have to go Malaysia and things like that. No, you speak well, but you don't have to put on a slang. Okay. That's the first part. And so when I say be you, and a lot of times when you are hanging out with your friends or you're just in a casual session, you are very comfortable and you are very natural. Lagging. Okay. So you maybe just want to be that, but amplify. So don't try to be Jason. Don't try to be me. Just be yourself, but amplify yourself a lot more. If you are the quiet type, just speak out a bit louder. If you need time to think, it's okay to say, pause, answer. It's all right. You don't have to be anyone else. So that's my only tip. Be you in the interview.
Yeah, I mean, I've shared this a lot when I give talks as well. Be you, but the best version of you. And you know, you do have some bad habits. You don't have to show those bad habits. Just show the best parts of you. And thank you so much, Mallory. I believe I've been informed that Lars is disconnected, but it's okay. I want to have an interesting session here with Mallory. I think it's fun. Talent development. It's interesting to me as well, because I interview a lot of people and I hire a lot of people as well for not just my company, but I also assist other companies as well. And you know, just to make things fun a bit, I just want a few people to switch on your cameras. If you have 𝗦𝗂𝗰𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, you know, if you have a few coins with you, more than one coin, please switch on your camera and unmute yourself. Just want to do a bit of activity here. All right. Does anyone have coins? Please unmute yourself and switch on your camera real quick. Just want to show you something interesting in relation to what Mallory has shared. And I also want someone to take out 1 ringgit bills, 1 ringgit bills, 10 ringgit, whatever it is, as long as it's cash. So I need one person to take out some coins and another person to take out some bills, as long as it's more than one. Does anyone?
Does e-wallet count?
Oh, e-wallet doesn't count for this activity. Yeah, unfortunately. So I just want to make a point here. Anyone have some coins? Okay. So we have
9.
9. You have some cash there with you. All right. Anyone have some coins here? Wow, y'all don't use coins anymore. I mean, it's the same. I don't use coins. I use e-wallet.
Okay, we have Shiyan has coins.
Shiyan.
I only have
Shiyan.
150 cents. Okay.
You have coins?
150 cents.
Yeah.
Can you show it in the camera?
Yeah.
Oh, just one, is it?
Yeah.
All right, no worries. Do you have something else with you, like a book or maybe a box with you that you can hold up?
Like a box?
Okay, no worries, no worries. My wife just gave me some coins here. All right, just to show you, I have a 50 cent here and also a 10 cent here. Now look at what will happen. If I do this, can you hear that? All right. Now, what I need you to do, Nai, since you have the cash with you, can you just pick up those cash bills and just knock them like that? Yeah, just knock them together. Or yeah, just rub it, just rub it. You can rub it, no problem. So what, if you notice, these coins, which one has more values? Is it the coins or the cash bill? Is it this 60 cents or the 1 ringgit bill? Just comment in the, just chat in the chat box. So of course, the 60 cents have a smaller value and the 1 ringgit has a bigger value. Now, as Mallory mentioned just now about tin kosong, they're normally loud, but they contribute less value in the discussion. They're normally sharing opinions, they're sharing thoughts, they're giving answers. But those answers, those thoughts, those opinions are normally they have a lesser value. And when you bring those cash bills together, you bang them together, you rub them together, it has a smaller voice, it has a smaller sound, but the value is much bigger. Now, normally, whoever is the most quiet person in the room, he observes, he listens, that person normally has more knowledge, more valuable information and opinions to share. It's just that it all depends on the right time and also the right moment to share those thoughts. So remember that. Remember these coins and remember the cash bills. So there's no point being loud, sharing your thoughts, your opinions, and whatsoever if the information that you share delivers lesser value. All right. So I hope you will able to relate this to what Mallory mentioned about tin kosong earlier on. Okay, so it's very important. So you don't have to show that you know everything. It's okay to not know something. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, we don't have Lars yet. No worries. We'll move on to the next question with Mallory. So Mallory, what do companies or you normally look for in a candidate who is applying a job? Like as soon as you hear or see that thing, it's instantly a click for you. And I'm not talking about job application where the requirements are this and that. This person needs to have this certain hard skill or able to do this, but there's something about the soft skill part, the attitude part, that actually makes you click, that even though this person does not have the hard skills to actually perform the work, you would still consider this person to be in that company. What is that one thing that you look for in a candidate?
Okay, I think for me, and I'm pretty sure most companies, because we did a few forums with organizations before, so I can tell you from the likes of Samsung to your Shopee to your Maybank and everybody around, they have said this before. And the only word that pops out all the time is the word hunger. You see, we can tell when a candidate comes in whether they are actually interested in the job. Are they here just for the sake of the job? Are they actually passionate about the interview? Is this person actually interested to learn? And that comes from hunger. You see, what happens when you're hungry? You walk around telling everybody in town, oh my God, faster, I'm hungry, cepatlah, ni aku lapar lah, ni, I'm hungry. You go around telling everybody. A full person never do that, or a sufficient person. I was a sufficient person would not do that. Only a hungry person would do that. They grumble, especially Malaysians. They grumble when they're hungry. Okay, so same thing like when you're actually hungry for a certain job, you indirectly carry most drive compared to people who are not that care about. So I know there are some people who are like me, where we call face problem, okay? Which means we have that face that looks like we're not interested, but actually we are. So there are a couple of tips you can do, which is practice your smile, practice your energy level, okay, and all that. But the word that everybody look for is actually hunger. So if you do have certain drive and you do have certain hunger, people can see. Now, if I were to ask you, I'm sure you're going to be thinking about, okay, great, I'm hungry for this job, very important. Now, how do I show I'm hungry? Do I actually say I'm hungry for the job? Or, how do I showcase that I'm hungry? So a couple of ways to do it. I'll give you 3 tips, okay? One is energy. Okay, you have to know in a virtual world, if your interview is virtually done, It's your energy doesn't really reach as if it's in person because we have this screen. So the only way is to throw your energy. Like for me now, if I'm going to talk like how I'm actually talking to you in person, you probably won't feel me. You'll probably feel I'm the most boring person on the planet. So what I need to do is to showcase a lot more energy, animation, character, tonality, everything to seem like I'm very interested. It seems like I'm actually engaging. So same thing if you're doing an interview. If you're quiet and you know you're shy, nothing wrong. I'm an introvert, by the way. Okay. So nothing wrong being an introvert, nothing wrong being shy. You just have to throw your energy a bit more. Up everything by just 10%. You'll be good enough. Okay. So that's the first part. I talk about energy. The second thing to showcase you are hungry is experience. A lot of times I know, fortunately, unfortunately, you didn't choose the course that you study. You ended up studying something because mommy and daddy highly invested in it and they said, you got to do this. Okay. Or halfway through studying, you realize that this is not for me. I want to do something else next time. It's experience. You can actually, as a fresh grad, transition. And it's a lot easier to transition as a fresh grad than an experienced hire. Because when you are experienced, people will look at your job. When you're fresh grad, they understand that, you know, we are all young and we're highly dependent on what our parents invest our money in. So it's perfectly fine to choose a different course. You can be studying accounting, finance, and want to do sales and marketing later. You can be studying, you know, engineering and want to do HR. Perfectly fine. Okay. But how to showcase your experience would be curriculum, activities, you know, competition, whatever it is that shows that, hey, even though I'm studying this, I'm interested in that and I'm going that way. So that's experience. So the first thing, energy. Second thing is experience. Okay. And the third thing is engagement. What do I say about engagement, right? Very simple. How many of you are actually typing in the chat? Honestly, I can tell you, I will only probably remember Dixon because his name keep popping up in almost everything we say. And that is making a good impression. All right, that's making a good impression. So similarly, throughout the times that we are talking, if you feel that you like this, you react to it, we remember you. Okay, we remember you and we remember the excitement that you have. We remember the drive that you have. It shows us that you are interested in this. So there are about 80 plus 78 of you here, or 78 of you in this room. And out of 78, I want to see how many people are actually participative, engaging, and in this conversation. Because Jason and I are putting a lot of effort trying to make you all laugh. I don't even know if you're laughing. At least type LOL or haha in the chat. Okay? So something. Because engagement gets you remembered. And end of the day, what you want to do is go to an interviewer and say that, hey, Miss, I met you here at this show. Remember me? I'm the person that did this. And I would say yes. And trust me, I'm already 90% sold. So 3 things I said: energy, which is showcase your energy in the interview or wherever you are. Number 2, experience. If you want something, you got to show you're working towards that. And last but not least is engagement. Please interact. Talk to us. It's 8 o'clock at night. We are all working adults. We had day jobs and we are here now. Okay. So show your engagement, engage it more, even in any forum, any session, anywhere that you are. And people will know that you actually are interested and hungry for it. So my 3 E's.
All right. Thanks, Mallory. Yes, I 100% agree on that. Normally, when I hire people as well, the first thing that I would like to look at is, does that person really want to be there? Because the last thing that a company or an employer wants is to hire someone who doesn't even want to be there. All right, don't make it feel like it's forced. And Mallory, I just want you to share your input about this. Feel free to share. Now, I would recommend to all the students here, if you are not interested in that job, don't force yourself to fake yourself, to be excited for it. You know, choose a job that you really want. And if that's the only vacancy, and you honestly, you really don't want to be there, don't fake as if like you're really excited for that job. Because I've hired someone before where that person is really excited. You know, she goes through the website of our company and tells us that, oh, this, I really like the vision. I want to jump aboard and achieve this vision as well. I really want this, you know. But then it turns out when she's working, it shows that she's not really there with that excitement, that same excitement that she brought to the interview session. So yeah, please don't fake it. Don't try to show that you're excited for a job that you actually don't want. What do you think about that, Mallory?
Yeah, I totally agree. Okay, pity us, because don't forget, whenever we hire someone, we are letting go of another person. In other words, means let's say I hired Jason. I'm just gonna pick a name, okay? I hired Jason, and then Xu Yuan don't get the job. That's basically how it works, right? So if let's say I hired Jason and Jason's actually not interested versus Xu Yuan who is actually interested, then what happens is it's a cost to us. And when you want us to write your reference letter, yeah, we ain't gonna do that. So I would encourage, unless I understand sometimes you're in financial difficulties and you have no choice, I get that. So if you have the liberty to decide, please don't do it. Okay. And another thing we don't want, I've seen this in many students, agree to the job, sign the offer letter, and don't turn up. Every company has been giving me horror stories. I myself experienced that. I hired someone. One day before the job, she said that, oh, she decided to take another offer. Don't you know the significance of an offer letter? When you sign, it's actually a binding contract. In other words, you can be sued. If the company want to pursue, they can sue you. And I've actually seen, don't make it a habit, because when you are young and you're doing it, fine, it's not worth going to court to sue you. But when you are making it a habit and it's experience, I've had that with my friend before. She innocently decided to reject the offer because she did it when she was a fresh grad. And now she signed the offer, she turned it down when she went for another job. They sue her of 2 months salary. In other words, her salary is about 6K to 8K. She has to compensate 16,000 because she turned down the offer letter after signing it. So that's actually the reality. So don't make it a habit, dear students, now that you're young, to sign offer letter and leave. And the HR world is very small. Today I'm in this company, tomorrow I'm somewhere else, and you see me again. What makes you think that your life will be easy? Okay, so menu offer letters count. Spare us the misery, spare yourself the misery as well, and go for something you're actually interested in.
Great, thank you for that. Now, just wondering, how many students here are taking? I'm sure a lot of you are actually business students, but please type something in the chat box if you do not take business in your field or in your course. Please type something. Let's say you're taking engineering and you happen to see this poster about this event and you just decided to join. Is everyone here business students? Oh, we have engineering here. Okay. Computer science, interesting. Communication, accounting.
Computer networking.
Networking.
So many psychology. Oh, by the way, FYI, I'm hiring psychology interns. Okay, just put it out.
Yeah, maybe Mallory, maybe you can just leave your email down there.
Yeah, I'll put it at the end. If I keep putting it out, I get lost somewhere.
Great. All right. So the reason I'm asking is because the next question will be more towards more suitable for business students, but I believe it's still applicable for most other courses out there and programs out there as well. So next question would be, what jobs can business students dive into here in Malaysia?
Okay. So I'll maybe cover, since if you type down your course, I'll try to cover as many as I can. Okay, so generally in jobs, there are 3 types. Okay, so you have the general businesses. I will park accounting, finance, comms under business courses. Okay, then you have the sciences, engineering, and all the other sciences, and then you have the technology base. Okay, so the rule of thumb is that you can actually do anything you want to do. I've seen biomedicine student becoming HR. I've seen biotech going to audit. I've seen food science becoming the head of marketing of FMCG. So, and engineering in HR. So it really doesn't matter, like I said, what you studied as your fresh grad. It just allows you to, give you a context a bit about the area. But if you want to transition, you got to show experience. I mentioned that. Okay. So if let's say you choose to stick to what you are going to study, okay. So all business students, generally you are the most versatile. So overall, you can go to almost anywhere in the organization, running from business development to sales and marketing to operations. You can actually go almost anywhere. Even if you have more business analysis skills, consultation or risk management. And today we have ESG for those of you who are climate sensitive. So you are actually versatile to go about anywhere. So I wouldn't be worried. Most comm student, if you have a better marketing base, you'll be good in PR or marketing. Okay, digital marketing is a big area now. And sales and marketing is the largest hired pool in any organization. So if you have some sort of sales and marketing background, you are interested in that area, you can be there. And today's world, sales is not door-to-door salesman or saleswoman. Yeah, in today's sales, business development is a very well processed and well rewarded journey in any industry for that matter. Okay, so for my engineering students, if you decide not to do engineering, in organizations, operations would be a very good hit for you as well, because there are a lot of things here we can take out from engineering called transferable skills. So you can actually transfer the skills from one point to another point or one career to another career based on what you studied. For example, in accounting, finance, and engineering, you have very strong analytical skills. You have very strong structure skills. So all these skills, you can actually take it and apply in any other department that requires such things. Okay, to my computer science students or computer related students, of course, you will know today IT is one of the highest hits in any area. However, if you choose to diversify and not do specifically IT, cybersecurity is a very big hit. IT risk is a very big hit. And also even in auditing, cyber auditing is a very big hit for you. So you actually have quite a versatile options in those fields as well. Okay, I think I kind of covered everybody. So in summary, right, you can go anywhere as long as you put your mind to it. And welcome back, Lars.
Welcome back, Lars. Good to have you. Just unmute yourself real quick. You're muted, Lars. Yeah. Maybe you can unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
All right. Yes. Welcome back. What happened?
I'm so sorry. They're digging here. They're doing the high-speed internet in the street, and today I don't know what they hit exactly today at this hour. They hit a wire, it looks like. So I had to go via hotspot now. But well, I'm back. I hope you all missed me.
Yeah, we did. And yeah, welcome back. And it seems that your internet is doing fine with that hotspot, and hopefully it continues that way. Really unfortunate to lose you for a few minutes there, but welcome back. And before we proceed with questions for Lars, I just want to jump back to the chat that 𝗦𝗂 just left just now. She said, I didn't think it was possible to reject an offer letter. Now, Mallory, please correct me if I'm wrong. An offer letter, you can reject it. But if you have signed that offer letter, it means that you have already...
It's binding.
It's binding, right? So you can still reject the offer letter as long as you haven't signed it yet, correct?
Correct, yes. So if you need time to think about it, come up with some excuse to think about it. But as long as you kind of don't sign it, then you're fine.
There we go, 𝗦𝗂. I hope that answers your question, and I hope it doesn't confuse anyone here. Now back to Mr. Lars. My next question for you would be back to soft skills. We want to learn more about soft skills. What is considered to be the most common, or I'd say important, top 3 soft skills that everyone should possess?
That is a good question. Well, you see, that could lead us to the question, how many soft skills are there? Yeah, so I was searching for a total number in a way, and some people, they say, hey, well, they're about 30. Some, they say they're about 130. So I would say they're about close to 30 main soft skills. And the 3 soft skills for me personally, you will find, if you show me the next slide, you will see that roughly. That is one thing. And let me guide you in with that. What you see here, this is famous Sherlock Holmes. So you see, so hopefully everybody can see the things in your surrounding, but you do not observe. And that is one main soft skill. You have to realize what you see. That means you have to observe, and you have to ask yourself, what is it? What do I see? And if you go the next step, and that leads us for me personally, to the number 1 soft skill, that is empathy. But that is so easy to say. Empathy is the understanding in a way for yourself and for others. So you ask yourself on an emotional awareness at this part. So that means you sense yourself in a way in terms of emotions, in terms of feelings. That's the first step. But then the next step, and that is for most of the people the most difficult step, that is this, what we would describe as a kind of an activeness. That means accordingly to these emotions, what you see, what you feel, what you realize from your opposite or even from yourself, with these kind of emotions, you go into a kind of a resonance. That means you cross-check this, and you guide yourself into this kind of emotions. What do you have to do if my counterpart feels like that? And that is empathy. And that is definitely the number 1. And that goes along with, for me personally also, and that heals a lot in a way, communication skills. That is a soft skill. And I'm not talking about talking, so to say. I'm talking about listening in the first place. And that is for many, many people the most difficult part. And there's a good reason why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So to say. So you should listen more than you talk in the first place. And if this comes into a good combination, if you are really a good listener, and if you can express yourself very well, if your communication skills are at the right time, with the right tone and the right intonation, then this is a super, super soft skill. That is for me, that could make it at the end, together with the empathy, that's absolutely front. And that is something where you would say, oh, I did not know that this is a soft skill. What I would describe simply as a friendly personality, that try to ask people with a smile. Things you request, do it with a smile. And everything, I had one coach who trained me, he said, well, whatever you should do out of a good mood. And that describes it in terms of a friendly personality. And the good mood part, and that comes with a smile, that comes with a kind of a understanding for the others and all together. And that makes for me the top soft skills.
Great. Thank you so much, Lars. And I 100% agree with all of the listed down there, especially the ones from Sherlock Holmes. You see, but do not observe. I mean, when I train our interns here at my company, I would normally teach them this one thing, which is look at your surroundings and look at every detail that you can, from the color of the leaves to how many trees are there around you, and just analyze every single detail that you can see, because one day it may be, whatever information that you can get out of it may be useful. For example, a client just asks where would be a suitable place to put up street buntings for advertisement, and you remember that in that street, in that area, there are trees where you can stick up street buntings, and you remember that those trees are suitable, the leaves are high enough so that people can see the advertisement and it's not covered by the leaves, so things like that. See the things around you and just observe, just analyze every single detail that you can. I highly agree with this. Thank you very much, Lars. Now moving on to the next question. A lot of times, even Lars mentioned this, that it all depends on every single individual. Some people, they have a gift in IQ, and some people, they are more gifted in EQ. So in case there are some people out there, or people who are joining us here tonight, do not have that soft skills gifts or talents in a natural way, how can one develop such a soft skill if they do not possess it? Yeah, over to you, Lars. How can one develop such a soft skill if we don't have it?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question. That was the question which you remember the story which my superior raised to me, and how can we build up soft skills for people where we see that they probably do not have the soft skills so much. How can we train them in a way? Can we book them in a certain seminar? Can we buy them a book, a smart one, and then they have suddenly more soft skills, they have more empathy, they have more emotional intelligence. Is that possible? And that was exactly the question which was raised really in a German engineering company, which is a lot full with hard skills. And that was the question I asked myself, is that possible to train? Because if you say, well, I have empathy or I don't have empathy, I have communication skills or not, yeah, you would say, yeah, okay, communication skills, probably this I can train here and there. But as you said already, it is difficult to simply to move forward and say, okay, I'm booking this training and then I have it. So we tried that, and if you give me the next slide, then you can see that a little bit how we have done that and what kind of a concept we developed.
Yeah, can we show the next slide, please? There we go.
Exactly. So that's how that is this kind of a concept what we then used, what I built up for my company at that part, and that is at the end what many coaches, many trainers use when they say, well, we teach you into the direction of soft skills to get better. And that starts, and that's why you see here the kind of a small human being, so to say, it starts in your face. It starts really in the face of the people. Look into the face of the people. And you mentioned it already, the facial expressions are the most important part. And the beauty at this part is, and that's why we start with that normally when we try to train people into the direction of soft skills, we start with the face. Why is it like that? Because the facial expressions, at least the basic emotions, basic emotions like sadness, anger, enjoyment, these are all over the world the same. And if you know how to read that, that is already very well. Yeah. Now you would say, oh, that is easy. If I look at people's face and they're smiling at me, they must be happy. Yeah, it's not so happy. It is not so easy, because the question would be then at this point, are they really happy or they are not happy? So they play just to be happy, for example. That's where the problem starts. But and that's the big differentiator is here a certain what we describe as a macro expression. So I can make you a sad face, or I can make a happy face for you. You see, that is the difference. I can make that, but the not making faces, the expressions, what I'm talking about here is micro expressions, and that is what your brain is doing automatically in really some milliseconds. And if you know and train yourself how to read that the person really felt, for example, enjoyment, that brings you very much forward. So the facial expression is really something, and it is all over the world, independent from culture. For the basic emotions, the same. It is really the same. So if you start there at this part, facial expressions, that's the number one. The number two is that where we would say, hey, that is interesting. Character and personality. There are a lot of books around, for example, Surrounded by Idiots, Surrounded by Psychopaths, and so on. This kind of you are blue character, you are yellow character, you are green, and these things going into characters and personality. I'm not talking about behavior. I'm really talking about that. What is your real character and your personality? So, and that moves on, and that is, you can imagine, that is very much colored in terms of culture. Because here we're talking about characters, personality, how much you can show of your character and your personality in a certain culture. Yeah, so that is already colored independent now from the facial expression what I just mentioned. Then we train, for example, in certain voice and intonations. The voice and intonation is also a cultural thing. For example, in Asia, you're talking very often about soft-spoken cultures. Yeah, if I would be very loud in Asia, that would be not very nice, isn't it? Yeah, so you can see here, there is a difference. But if you would be very loud in Germany, that is something the people give you at least attention in the first place. They are wondering also, but that would be not so difficult. So voice and intonation makes it, yeah. So very often also, and then it comes to the very big part of, let's say, the rest of the body language, which we put here as number 4. Yeah, the rest of the body language is your hands, your posture, your gestures, and that is already all from the human being point of view. With these 4 parts and pieces, you already moving forward into the direction of soft skills. But you always have to remember that, especially as I mentioned it, number 2, number 3, and number 4 are very, very much cultural driven. How you express your body language, how can you express what is possible, what should be not possible, what is appropriate. So the cultures play a crucial role. And then we should not forget, and that's part number 6 here, situations. If you have difficult situations, you are under stress. For example, my internet just dropped out. It brought me really under stress, I can tell you that. So you would not like to have seen my face at this time, especially at this kind of an important moment. So that is a difficult situation. And then just to stay still relaxed in this situation, you can teach people, you can teach them the certain body language for that in a certain cultural frame. And if you take all this together, yeah, then you are really, really moving into the direction of soft skills, because then you are capable to read much more than ordinary normal people. You are well prepared. And I can tell you, we have done this kind of a concept, what you see here with the 6 stages. I trained about 500 salespeople with that, marketing people, communication people, top management. And what you see here, because many people said, oh, what is it at the end good for? And we really, really noticed that these parts of empathy, the communication, negotiation skills, sales, even simple leadership skills, or the basic relation to the customer improved. People were suddenly more effective, and they were higher motivated by themselves, and even their team and their surrounding was higher motivated. So it came all together, and that's how we trained soft skills. But a difficult thing, yeah, it is not simply buy a book or do this or do that. Yeah, it is a lot of bits and pieces. Does that answer it?
Yeah, to summarize that, it starts from you, starts from your facial expression. Always learn to be in a good mood, control your emotions, control yourself, being the best versions of you. So it all starts from inside, something that you cannot learn from anywhere else. You can observe, but you need to practice it on your own to actually develop it. Am I right, Lars?
Yes, the observing part is the first part, as I mentioned it with the empathy, because you see a certain part, you observe something, but what are you doing with that? You see, for example, that your opposite is not happy. So what are you doing with that? You ignore it. Is that empathy? No, probably not. Yeah, so if you give comfort to your opposite, you try to feel, you try to understand how your opposite feels at this part, and you can comfort them really, not just let's say surface. Yeah, that is empathy. That is the part. So not only to observe, also to act accordingly. That is the really important second step. And I can tell you, many, especially top managers, many high intelligent people, the first part, the observation of emotions, of these things, of how the people feel, it is there, yeah, purely by highly intelligence, and they can simply think about it, but they cannot act accordingly. And that makes at the end the difference. Act accordingly. That is the big difference for me personally.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing, Lars. Now, continue with this
Thank you very much, Mr. Jason, for the wonderful hosting, and also to Mr. Lars and Mrs. Mallory for the insightful session.